Hello, and welcome to today's session on knowing your industry sector for philosophy, ethics and religion. Today we'll be looking at the sector, understanding it and the key skills you need to be successful in this chosen career. Learning objectives, so we're going to identify the key skills you can develop whilst on placement and also understanding the sector and placement opportunities available to you. Placement information and key contacts, so your placement dates, just a reminder, from the 17th of April 2023 till the 19th of May if you're doing the block placement. If you're starting your flexible placement, that could start as soon as possible once all the paperwork and health and safety checks have been approved. Your placement deadline, the latest start for the flexi placement is the 27th of February 2023, and your block placement details have to be submitted before the 3rd of March. I'm your placement officer, and if you need to contact me, you can contact me on placements@leedstrinity.ac.uk. Our office is AG12 as well. So 5 things you need to do. Think about what you want to do, and today, hopefully by the end of this session, you'll have a better idea of what the sort of areas you want to go into, and you will have asked yourself a few questions that will get you thinking and start researching and applying. We're going to identify the key skills within your sector. At prospects.ac.uk is a really good website. We'll go through that as well, and of course researching your sector and the companies to contact, and attending all your placement lectures and sessions that are delivered by Careers+Placements. It's important to have done all of those, and of course ticking them off on your pathways on My Career as well. Prospects.ac.uk, really good website. There's a lot on here. I do recommend you go on there and have a look. You've got everything from CV help, cover letter help, interview tips, how to apply for jobs, and most importantly, you've got a career planner that'll help you plan around your degree course and what sort of options are available to you. You've got job options, and it does show a good list of all the different types of roles that you could potentially be doing whilst after graduating, once you've got your degree. And each sort of job option that you click on, there'll be a full description there, and it'll tell you everything about that role and how to get into it, what you can progress on to. So it's a pretty handy website to look at. I would definitely recommend that you go on there. Skills. So the purpose of your placement is to build upon the skills that you need to secure a role in your chosen field once you graduate. This is what we're working up towards. The types of skills that you need to build and put on your CV. We're looking at the skills that make you more employable, transferable skills. Some of you will have had plenty of your skills being developed whilst doing other things outside of university, such as a part-time job, volunteering, maybe you're already doing your placement or some form of placement. You've got hobbies and interests. You've got a lot of things that you might have been doing, and from those you've got a lot of transferable skills. Doing your placement is going to add to that, and that's where we really want you looking more employable. So your CV looks good, there's a lot on there, and there's plenty to discuss with potential future employers. So some skills, you'll be looking at general sector interest and awareness, because there's a wide range of areas for philosophy, ethics and religion. There could be a lot of different areas you could be working in, picking up many different skills across those. Self-motivation and commitment is very important, as well as communication and interpersonal skills, organisational skills, time management. These that are listed here are all within the top 10 types of skills that employers are looking for, and you've probably done all of these in some way or another. So we just want to talk about, or we want to be able to bring your skills from wherever you've gained them from into the placement, and from the placement to beyond to wherever else you might work. Just looking at transferring all those across. Skills you could develop on placement, your interpersonal skills, of course, communication, motivation. Communication could be written, it could be IT skills, it could be over the telephone. Maybe that's something you've never done before, you might have experience doing that. Definitely sector awareness. Whilst you're working on being part of your placement, you're going to talk to a lot of people. Those people will you'll be having conversations with. You could be expanding your knowledge. They could transfer you, and maybe you're part of their network, and they could let you know about different things going on in the sector, some big developing news. It could be anything, current events. They might put you forward to networking groups that you can all share and work collaboratively on different things. Um, Working as part of a team forms part of that as well. It's important to think about developing your network whilst you're on placement as well. LinkedIn's really good for that. If you've got a LinkedIn account, you could add maybe your colleagues or just any organization that you're following. It would be good to add them that are related to your sector. You'll be working on projects to tight deadlines. You'll definitely need organizational skills, looking at problem solving, decision making, and how to plan ahead. All of these are key skills we're looking to develop whilst on placement. Hard skills versus soft skills. So you might have come across these terms before, you might not have. But hard skills, these are skills that are job specific. You want to be able to perform these with repeatable precision. Examples could be quantitative and qualitative data analysis, ability to apply specific knowledge, maybe laws, legislations, and of course critical analysis. Soft skills, you could have general characteristics and traits, for example, as we mentioned before, time keeping, professionalism, and communication. We want you to be able to pick up as many hard skills as possible whilst you're out there on placement. We'll skip past this and thinking outside the box. The reason why we put this slide on here is just to remind you about the type of placement you could be potentially going into and what you can do from that. So you've got an idea of the types of skills you need, what types of things you'll need to be doing on placement, but it's likely that the placement opportunity that you go for, it might not be exactly the role that you're looking for uh, when you're looking to establish your career. As an example, we could use if you wanted to work as a university lecturer, and it's quite unlikely right now going in any placement and being a uni lecturer, it's not really going to happen. What you could consider is working with maybe a school, a college, somewhere, maybe as a teaching assistant in a different department to start with, where you'll develop your knowledge, and that'll be an excellent experience and look good on your CV. So thinking outside the box here, the type of career pathway you really want to go down, you might not get it for your placement, but regardless of where you go, the key thing to remember is that it's not where you are, it's the types of skills that you develop are most important. So please do remember that whilst you're out on placement. Placement options. So before you start applying for a placement, you need to ask yourself these four things: what, where, why, and who. There's a nice little pie chart here that can help you plan where you'd like to go for a placement. So if you start with what do you want to do? Consider your area or which area of per interests you. So it could be anything from charities, schools, maybe religious roles. Thinking about what you really want to do will help you figure out where you want to do your placement, which leads us to where do you want to do your placement. Do you want to be able to access that placement or that employer, get to there by public transport? Do you want to drive? Are you going to take a walk? Is it local to you? Some of you might live outside of Leeds, you might want something more local to where you actually live. If you go home for the summer and you're not on accommodation, you might want to think about your block placement because you are going to be scheduled off timetable for that block. You might want to go back to your hometown and you might want to do your placement there. Don't apply for a placement if it's going to take you hours to get there every day. It's just not going to happen. You're definitely not going to be motivated to attend that. So all of these things you need to start thinking about. Why? Why do you want to work in that area? Do you want to gain more understanding, experience? Do you want to have a look at that particular role or area and get a real good insight whilst working down placement? And that is quite important because it could steer you in a direction of your chosen career path. You might do a placement in a certain area and you might think, yep, this is for me, I'm going to continue and find a job within this area. Or you might think the opposite. You might think, maybe it's not for me as a full-time paid job, maybe I'd look in a different area. And a placement can help open doors to that sort of thinking and give you a real insight into that area. If you think about who do you want to work with? Do you want to work with a large or small organization, private or public sector? You might have an employer in mind that you really want to work with, and it'd be a good idea now to start approaching them, either sending them an email or ringing them up, asking them if they've got any placement opportunities. Of course, if you need us to help you with that, you can get in touch. We can help you with that too. Health and safety. It's important that you do your health and safety forms before you go out on placement. A placement can't start without these being done. And your health and safety form will be sent out to you once you submit your placement details on eVision. So as soon as you've done that, we'll send you the health and safety form. When it's returned to us, we'll double check, see if everything's okay. If we need further support, or if you need further support, we can get in touch regarding that. We'll also do a health and safety check for the employer as well. So it's important to put the correct details, because we'll be contacting them from the details you submit on eVision. And once you've submitted your health and safety forms and the employer has, that placement will then be approved and you can start. Typical roles related to a degree in PER. So roles directly linked to your degree, there's a list there, and roles where a PER degree would be useful but not essential, there's also a list there for you. I think from looking at these job titles and all these different roles, majority of them you can already relate to, and there might be one there that you really want to do once you graduate. So it's time to start thinking about what types of transferable skills you'll need for that role. How could you get a placement that would relate to that role you want to go into? And if it doesn't relate directly, how can you pick up the kind of hard skills and transferable skills? Placement ideas. So if you look at potential placement options for yourselves and the types of organisations to contact, you've got some examples like schools, charities, housing associations, the council and mental health groups. There are many more. It's just about thinking who you could approach and who you could apply to. So what next? Have a look on Moodle, the placements page on Moodle. There's a lot of resources on there. I would definitely recommend you have a browse. Attend your placement lectures, placement advice sessions, workshops and events. Start researching your sector and the different job roles within it, and start asking yourself, what, who, why and where, because you need to start thinking about where you really want to do your placement. Visit prospects.ac.uk and start thinking about those transferable soft and hard skills you can develop. Dig out your CV and update it. You can attend the CV workshops. They run every Wednesday and Thursday between 1 and 2 in LC 018 in the library. You can book on there through the event calendar on My Career. Start researching and contacting organisations. Keep in touch with your personal tutor and placement advisor. And also look at the placements on My Career and apply directly to those. It's important to note that the placements on My Career, you can only apply for a maximum of 2 at any one time. Useful links are available here. You've got your Moodle page and the placement allowance form. If you can't scan the QR code when this presentation's uploaded, you can access them through the links provided there.